And you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the greatest doubt upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is not the moment for German skepticism. The explanation forgives me is too far satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing. That seems to me to have some kind of truth upon it. I'm more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity. Then you think we should forgive them? Yes. I mean, no, true. I have forgotten. There are principles that say that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them the task is not a pleasant one? Could you not both speak at the same time? An immovable idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me? Certainly. Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all?
We're going to be Christians this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing.
I am.
To please me, you're willing to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
How absurd to talk about the equality of the sexes. What questions of self-sacrifice are concerned man are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have no physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing. Darling.
Darling.
Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens.
Gwendolyn, what does this mean? Merely that I'm engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma. Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young enough to be taken note. A price, sir, of my daughter's sunfly bird trusty mate. Her unhappy father on better faith under the impression that she's attending a longer than usual lecture at a university with potential scheme. I do not propose to undeceive him, but you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter has to cease immediately from this point on. On that point, indeed on all others, I am firm.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You're nothing of that kind, sir. And now, as regards Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
May I ask if it is this house where your invalid friend Mr. Bunbury lives?
Oh, no. Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dad? When did Mr. Bunbury die? It must have been a extremely sudden death.
Oh, I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, poor Bunbury died.
But what did he die of?
Bunbury? Oh, he's quite exploded.
Exploded? Oh, was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? Well, if so, he was well punished for his mobility.
My dear Aunt Augusta, I mean, he's found out. The doctors found out he could not live. So that is what I mean. So Bunbury died.
Oh, he seems to have had great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. But however, I'm glad that we finally got rid of this Mr. Bunbury. And now, Mr. Worthing, may I ask you, who is that young person whose hand my nephew is holding right now in a, let me say, very unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I am engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
Well, I do not know if there is something particularly exciting in the air of this part of Hertfordshire, but the amount of engagements going on are considerably of what statistics have laid down. Mr. Worthing, may I ask you, is Miss Cardew at all related to one of the large railway stations in London? Until yesterday I did not know that there are families or persons whose origin is determinate.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of late Mr. Thomas Cardew, 149 Belgrave Square, SW, Grace Park, Dorking, Surrey, and Sprang, Fifeshire, MB.
That's not unsatisfactory. Free addresses always inspire some confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof of their authenticity do I have?
I've carefully preserved the court code superior, Lady Bracknell. They're open to your inspection.
I've known some strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, Markby, and Markby.
Markby. A firm of its highest position in its profession. So far I'm satisfied.
How extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I also have in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, confirmation, vaccination, and the measles, both the German and the English variety.
Ah, I see. A life proud of this incident. But perhaps a little bit too exciting for a young lady. I'm not in favor of premature experiences. Gwendolyn, we need to go now. We've missed one, if not 5 trains. Mr. Worthing, I should have just asked as a matter of form. Has Miss Cardew any little fortune?
Oh, about £130,000 in the funds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
Wait a moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000, and in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to be a most attractive young lady now as I look at her. I mean, nowadays there are only
A few girls with solid qualities. You know what I mean? Like qualities that last and develop over time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surface. Come here, sweet child. Ah, pretty child, look at you. Your dress is sadly simple, and your hair is like nature might have left it, but that can easily be understood. Can you turn around? No, this side is all right. Exactly, quite as I expected. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
Algernon, I have to say that there are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. And I don't give 2 pence about social possibilities.
Algernon, never be disrespectful about society. Only people who can't get into that do it. My child, you know that Algernon has nothing than his staff to depend upon, but I'm not in favor of mercenary marriages. Therefore, I suppose I have to give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
You may kiss me, Cecily.
Thank you, Lady Brightman.
You may also address me as on the gospel in the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I suppose, should take place quite soon.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I'm not in favor of long engagements. It gives people the opportunity to get to know each other's character before marriage, and that is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but I'm afraid this engagement is quite out of the question. I'm Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon which ground may I ask?
It pains me very much to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew, but the fact is I do not approve at all his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? That's impossible. He's an Oxonian.
I fear there can be no doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London, we caught a matter of romance. He obtained admission to my house under the false pretense of being my brother. On assuming name he drank, I've just been informed by my butler. An entire pint bottle of Perrier Blue 89. One especially reserved for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he seized over the course of the afternoon and alienated the affection of my only ward. He subsequently stayed for tea and devoured every single muffin. But what makes his conduct all the more heartless, I was perfectly well aware from the first that I have no brother, I've never had a brother, that I don't intend to have a brother, not even any kind. I think told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I've decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
How kind of you. However, my indecision is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
My dear child, how old are you?
Well, I'm only really 18, but I was amidst 20 at evening parties.
Oh, you're perfectly right in making some slight alterations. A woman should never be quite accurate about her age. It is so calculating. So 18, but admitting 20 at evening parties. So I guess it doesn't take long until you reach the age where you are free from restraint of tutelage. So therefore, I suppose your guardian's consent does not matter at all.
I beg your pardon to venture over to you again, Lady Bracknell, but it's only fair to say that according to the terms of Miss Cardew's grandfather's will, she does not come legally of age till she is 35.
That doesn't seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of ladies of the highest birth who remain 35 by their own choice. Were you?
Algie, could you wait for me until I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but then I certainly couldn't wait till that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know that, but I do like punctuality in others. And waiting even to be married is quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
My dear Mr. Jeffrey, as Miss Cardew positively states that she cannot wait until she's 45, I'm sorry. I really beg you to reconsider your decision.
And my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The only consent to my marriage with Gwendolen, I'm more than gladly allow your nephew to form alliance with my ward.
Mr. Worthing, I hope you're aware that what you're proposing is completely out of the question.
Their passionate celibacy is all any of us can look forward to.
But that is not the destiny that I propose for Gwendolen. Algernon, of course, can decide for himself. Gwendolen, we have to go now. We've missed now 6 trains, and if we miss another one, then we will be obliged to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening? Isn't that somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age? No. The idea is irreligious and grotesque. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell wouldn't be very delighted if you would know in which ways you are wasting your money and your time.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I'm afraid that as things are now, Doctor, it wouldn't be of much practical value to either of us.
I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing, a saviour of the views of the Anabaptists, views which I refute and inform my unpublished sermons. However, as your views seem to be peculiarly secular, I will return to the church at once. In fact, I've just been informed by the puberty that for the past hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Wait a second, Miss Prism, did I think you're mentioning a Miss Prism?
Yes, madam, I'm on my way to join her.
Pray, may I detain you for a second? This matter could be of great importance for myself and for Lord Bracknell. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated lady in the very picture of respectability.
It's obviously the same person. May I ask you which position she's holding in your household?
I am a celibate, madam.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Carde's esteemed governess and valued companion.
Well, after all I heard, I have to see her. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She's an eye.
I've been told you've been waiting for me at the vestry, dear Canon. I've been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism, come here, Prism. Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, you left Lord Bracknell's house in charge of a perambulator which contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. The perambulator was found left by itself in a dark corner at Bayswater, and it contained a 3-volume manuscript filled with more than usual sentimentality. But the baby was never found. So I ask you, Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I can honestly say I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. In the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory, I proceeded to take the baby out of the perambulator, and I also had with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag to which I put my manuscripts of fiction, which I did in my very few unoccupied hours. And in a moment of mental abstraction, to which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait for me here.
If you're not too long, I will wait here for you all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect, Dr. Chester. I hardly need to tell you that strange coincidences like this are not expected to be the thing in families of high position.
Uncle Jackson is strangely agitated.
Yeah, this sound is very inconvenient. It sounds as if you would be having an argument. I dislike arguments of any kind. They're often vulgar and convincing.
Just stop now.
I wish you would arrive at some conclusion.
This suspense is terrible. I hope to love.
Miss Prism. Is this the handbag? Inspect it carefully before you speak. Now better some one-on-one life depends on your answer.
Appears to be mine. Yes, he was injured at the siege during the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in earlier and happier days. And here on the lining is a stain. This occurred in Leamington. And here on the lock are my initials. Got in such an extravagant mood I haven't placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. It's been a pleasure to have it restored to me unexpectedly after all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this handbag. I was the baby placed in it.
You?
Yes. Mother.
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that is a serious blow. But after all, who can cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance, why bad an act of folly? I should be one law for men and another law for women. Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, that is some sort of error. This woman can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me as to who I am?
Mr. Worthing, I'm afraid the information I have to give to you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently the older brother of Algernon.
Algy's elder brother. I knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother. Cecily, have you ever doubted I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Algie, you young scoundrel. You have to start treating me more respect in the future. You never behaved to me like a brother in all your life.
Oh, not till today, old boy. I did try my best, though it was out of practice.
My own, but what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you have become someone else?
Good heavens, I've quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose?
I never change, except in my affections. What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the point had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. At the time that Miss Prism placed me in the handbag, had I already been christened?
All luxury that money could buy, including christenings, had been lavished on you by your caring parents.
Then I had been christened. That is settled. Now, what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Well, being the oldest, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
Oh, I do not at the present moment remember what the general's Christian name was, but I have no doubt he had one.
Algie, can't you recollect what our father's name was?
My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the annals of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta?
The general was a very peaceful man, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt that his name would appear in every military directory.
The army list the last 40 years ahead. Its delightful records should be my constant study. M. Generals. Madam, Maxim, Magley. Ghastly names they have. Markby, Migsby, Mibbs, Moncrief. Lieutenants, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General, 1869. Christian names. Ernest John. I always said to you, Gwendolyn, my name was Ernest, didn't I? Well, it is Ernest. I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
Yeah, now I was just saying it, I remember it. The general was called Earnest. I knew I had a reason for disliking the city.
Ernest, my own Ernest, I felt from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it's a terrible thing for a man to realise that he's been telling nothing but the truth his whole life. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel that your truth changed.
My own one.
Patricia!
Frederick! At last!
Oh God.
Cecily, at last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying some signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've realised for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.